You catch yourself mid-sentence, saying something your father used to say in the exact tone he used to say it. For a second it feels like insight, like you just spotted the wire. You think that's the moment you understand yourself. It isn't. Seeing the thread is not the same as deciding what to do about it. Most of what runs your day was never chosen. It was installed so quietly you mistook it for your own personality. In a few minutes, I'll show you why the obvious move, asking yourself, "Why do I believe this?" has a trapdoor built right into it, one that can turn honest self-examination into a quiet performance for an audience of one. And by the end, I'll hand you the one small, doable move that replaces the impossible search for where a belief began. A single question about one belief you can ask this morning that does more than any amount of digging through your past ever could. But that starts with something you already sense, even if you've never looked straight at it. Somewhere, on some level, you already know what shaped you, not in detail, not in order, but dimly, the way you know there's a printer humming in the corner of a room you stopped noticing years ago. You know your father's temper is in your temper. You know a teacher's offhand comment about ambition still runs somewhere under your career choices. You're not blind to your own conditioning, you just don't look directly at it because nothing has forced you to yet. That's the strange part. The evidence isn't hidden, it's peripheral. It's sitting exactly where you left it, waiting for you to turn your head. Here's how a value stops looking borrowed and starts looking like yours. You normalize it. Human beings can normalize almost anything: a house, a marriage, a belief about what a good life requires. And once something is normal, you stop seeing the seams. Later, if anyone asks why you believe it, your mind quietly rewrites the story. Not lying exactly, just protecting the feeling that you authored your own life. Which means unplugging from the script isn't the hard part. Anyone can walk away from a rule. The hard part is unlearning the frame that made the rule feel like your own idea in the first place. That frame is still standing, even after you've left the house. So maybe you try the obvious move. You ask yourself, why do I believe this? Good instinct. But watch it closely, because it has a trap door. Sometimes, questioning your beliefs isn't clarity, it's performance. Done for an audience, real or imagined. The version of you that wants to look examined, wants to look free, wants to be seen, changing. The sharper question isn't, why do I believe this? It's, who am I being introspective for? Are you looking honestly, or are you rehearsing a scene where you look honest? That distinction is uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be. It's the difference between examining a belief and simply performing its examination. Now, the obvious objection. Maybe you shouldn't question everything. Every generation's certainties looked foolish to the next one, and yet people built entire, meaningful lives inside frameworks they never fully proved. Total, permanent doubt isn't wisdom. It's paralysis wearing wisdom's coat. And there's something right in that objection. The point was never to doubt everything forever. It's to hold your beliefs as provisional instead of default, open to correction. Not collapsing into doubt just because certainty was never guaranteed. Probability, not paralysis. That's the standard. Which raises the real question this whole video has been circling. What does it actually mean to be free from a belief you never chose? Not what you'd guess. Freedom was never, I picked this myself. The older, harder definition is this. You're free when you live as you wish to live, when you're not compelled, hindered, or governed by opinions you haven't examined. Notice what's missing from that definition. Origin. It doesn't ask where the belief came from. It asks whether it still commands you against your own judgment right now. A man can be born into a value and still be free of its grip the instant he stops obeying it blindly. I'm curious how you'd answer this for yourself. Is there a belief running your life right now that you've simply never turned to face? Tell me where you land. This is what it feels like from inside, before you name it. You wake up already on a staircase. Below you, steps you must have climbed, though you can't recall the climbing. Above you, more steps, disappearing out of sight. This haziness never threatened your life. It threatened your perception of it. That's a quieter kind of danger. You glide through your own history like a ghost through a familiar room, and if you tried to point to your place on the stairs, you'd struggle. This isn't a personal failing, it's simply what inheritance feels like from the inside, before anyone hands you the word for it. So here's the turn. You will probably never find the exact hour a value became yours. That search was never actually the task. It was a decoy, and a good one, because it feels like the responsible thing to chase. The real task is smaller, and it's available today. Take one belief currently steering you. Not your whole worldview, one belief. Ask only this. Would I still choose this if I were choosing it for the first time, right now, as I am? Not who assigned it to you, not when, just whether it still deserves the authority it has over you this morning. That single look is the whole inheritance reversed. You didn't get to witness the moment a thread reached in and pulled your shape into place. Nobody does. That's what makes it inheritance and not choice. But you can witness this moment. You can stand in front of one belief without flinching and ask if it still earns its place. That's not excavation. That's ownership, built in real time, out of nothing but attention. The line was drawn by other hands once. What you do with it from here is the only part that was ever going to be yours. I'd like to know which belief you're going to look at first.